Hey guys, welcome back. It's Cameron.
It's Marissa.
And today we will be summarizing the last 10 chapters of Schindler's List.
Gen Z edition. Did you know Hitler had a failed assassination?
Nope.
Goeth held a meeting warning that with Russians advancing, Jewish prisoners might try to escape or attack Blazau.
Oscar hosts overheated prisoners, but Goeth tells him not to help every trainload.
Adam Gorday and Amelia saw Oscar change as they heard of Hitler's failed assassination.
Rumors spread the camps would close, so Goeth set up Willik Chilowicz in a fake escape plot. Chilowicz and others were caught and executed, which was part of his plan.
Goeth reported stopping an escape and accused Pemper but let him go.
He instead killed an old man after taking his hidden diamonds. Did you know Oscar made bets to save Jewish lives?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Plazo camps were disbanded. Prisoners of Mali would be sent to Plazo, awaiting relocation.
Rumors swirled that Oscar would buy them back.
Prisoners moved to Plazo, but believes Oscar was working on a list.
Goeth is sickly, so Oscar asks if he can take his workers because he is moving business.
He agrees if Oscar can get approved.
Oscar and Goeth play cards while Helen, the Jewish maid, serve them.
When Oscar remembered how she was poorly treated, he said to Goeth, "If I win, I get to take Helen." He won!
Did you know Goeth was arrested?
Mm-mm.
Oscar suggests creating a joint camp, but Madras said that he needed more time to decide.
Oscar met Colonel Erich Lang to get a support letter.
Lang agreed, and the evacuation board directed Oscar to an engineer who knew relocation sited in Marbella.
Goeth was arrested after SS investigations revealed his crimes, and other commandments were also investigated.
He was imprisoned awaiting trial. Pemper was briefly arrested, and Helen now works for Commandant Bushner.
Oscar meets Sesmuth about new camps, visits Brindlitz despite local residents likes it, then goes to Krakow and sees the camp's wreckage.
Oscar Bremlin's company is approved despite local opposition if he bribes police chief Rash with the diamond.
Oscar slits over 1,000 people to move, with more of Madrich joins. Tis tries to persuade him.
At a Plazal grad party, Madrix tells Oscar he won't join, saying it won't work. Oscar must finish his list that evening and it near the limit.
Marcel Goldberg, the new commandant, who doesn't care who's on the list but accepts bribes.
Hans, an SS officer fond of Pfefferberg, feels guilty and shares Oscar's list but can't join because he locks diamonds.
Stern Goldberg and the Rosner brothers are on the list. Bao is included, but his family is not. Did you know Schindler saved 800 men in a short period of time?
Wow, no.
A prisoner that was crossed off by Goldberg to make room for others blames Oscar.
He writes a letter saying Oscar promised him a spot, but instead went to an extermination camp.
Oscar's camp under commandment Hassa Batoic, who would later claim 100,000 lives in the system.
Dr. Ike Schindler approached Goldberg, wanting a spot on the list with his two brothers.
He realized they didn't make it, but he joined the line anyway.
They got caught and they were sent to Auschwitz with a car of sick women, but he survived.
Rosner, Pfefferberg, and Helen made the list.
The man left and the woman left a week later to Rosen.
After 3 days of travel, prisoners were told to strip naked to be disinfected. They were exposed to the cold for 17 hours.
Goldberg was asked to rewrite Schindler's List from memory. It didn't make it to Plazau.
Prisoners pressured Goldberg to add Dr. Alexander Biberstein, first president of Judenrat.
800 men of the revised list were taken to Oscar's factory in Brizen. Did you know Rudolf Haas was a crazy gas lover?
Dang, he's weird.
Oscar fully funds his camp, but during inspections, Hasselberg takes supplies. Oscar stops caring about production and profit.
Oscar's wife joins him, ending his affairs.
Oscar's women arrive at Auschwitz. They were graded, put in different groups, and let in the showers.
Nazis tattooed those who planned to keep around. Only by a few women were tattooed. The women without tattoos were led to uncomfortable housing.
Russia invaded camps, learning in the horrors of the gas chambers. The whole world now knew.
Himmler promised allies that the gas chambers would stop. Two generals ignored this and continued gassing for another month or so.
The Schindler women were at risk of being gassed. They went through mass medical inspections, some separated due to illness or age.
They were in constant fear and some lost hope without Oscar.
Oscar is arrested a third time as police suspect black market activity due to loads of liquor and cigarettes coming to camp.
They question Oscar, who told them the items are ghosts and he is keeping them until he gets out.
Oscar shows Go's suitcase and finds nothing, but they arrest him anyway.
Oscar is taken to Krakow and meets Huff. He's a civil engineer at Plazow who may be working with Kalanawaskawa.
Both tells him Klonowska is rallying his friends.
Oscar is interrogated by 12 SS investigators. They asked if Oscar paid Goeth 20 easy on the Jews. He says no.
Rudolf Haas over Auschwitz and gas chambers lover. Oscar called Haas often trying to get his prisoners. Oscar told a secretary to take the list of women and a suitcase with liquor and diamonds to Haas.
The women did not return after 2 days, so Oscar went. They told Oscar he did not need these women. They are worthless. He argued he has trained them.
New commandant Joseph Leopold visits with an inspector while Oscar is gone. They gather children and their parents for Auschwitz experiment.
The SS officer escorting the children and parents is nice and tells them he is taking them. He's taking the women to Brinlitz after.
Oleg and Henry write letters to their mom and wife. The officer tells them they lost the war and that they will survive.
The Schindler women are getting lined up to go. The women see the children and dads they see their tattoos and food. They'll be okay.
They arrive in Brinlitz, created by Oscar with commandant Leopold.
Leopold was angry at Oscar's warmth, but there was nothing he could do. You know Oscar had to make fake scenarios to make Nazis believe he was like them?
No, really?
Oscar ordered a delousing unit with showers, laundry room, and a disinfection plant.
Oscar seemed to be having a sexual relationship with an SS officer.
Oscar has been taking some time away from the camp. One day he was gone. 19-year-old Janek Dressner was accused of sabotage by a German supervisor who wrote reports to send to higher-ups.
Stern stopped the letters from going out, except for the hand-delivered one to Command Leopold.
Stern tells Oscar about the situation as he gets back to the camp. Commander Leopold wants to have a hearing about this.
Oscar states he will be over the hearing since it's his company and he doesn't want a disturbance to the production. He won that argument.
Janek admits he was not familiar with the machine. Schoenberg states every prisoner was picked because they were skilled workers.
Oscar got angry and hit Dressner multiple times. He yelled about the stupidity of Jewish people and told him to leave.
Oscar told the Germans to forge this. They liked that he took this seriously, but of course this was a stunt.
Did you know Schindler's factory never made working weapons?
Interesting.
Oscar's factory produced nothing. He claims there have been startup difficulties.
He sent a truck full of parts to make them look productive. He had a bad reputation with armaments ministry due to lack of productivity.
Oscar got a letter saying his shelves fail inspection. He is happy. They wonder how his company still runs.
He bought them liquor and dinner to bribe. Legend says he tripped one who split his head open.
Oscar tricks inspectors by buying them boxes of shells with Schwitz and passing it off as their own. He holds forts and dinners to bribe.
Oscar began collecting weapons. Oscar bribes by giving a diamond ring for his wife.
Oscar appointed Ernest Beschk to watch the Azrael. Beschk takes small groups out for training.
A group of prisoners, including Jewish officers and men of the Polish army.
They worked in Oscar's kitchen, brought in Leopold. They were very political and learned Maxrim.
They opted for several private lessons with Beschk's automatic weapons. Did you know that you could lose your status?
No, I didn't.
Goethe and Bosch both got over 3,000 women out of Auschwitz.
The Russians were advancing, so Hahnemann and 29 other men were talking to Brinlitz.
During disbanding camps, the deserted workers piled in 2 cars.
They were traveling without food for 10 days.
Camps turned them away because they had no value.
Leopold sees no reason to keep the survivors since no one could pretend they were munitions workers.
Oscar agrees but still pays them.
There are 16 dead bodies in the cars.
Emily made a deal and got medication for Golzau prisoners.
Goethe got released from prison due to diabetes. His investigation is still going.
An SS judge came to inspect Goethe. Pemper questioned again about Goethe's procedures.
Goethe found Pemper wanting to know what they asked.
Pemper knew he wanted him dead and told him he can't tell him. Goethe lost his power.
Did you know Schindler turned 37 while surrounded by his prisoners?
Oh, that's cute.
They made him a gift and expressed their thanks.
Leopold was sent a telegram stating that if the Russians advance closer, the aged and Hall are to be shot immediately.
The others would be marched out. The details were not released, but prisoners heard rumors.
However, Pemper grabs the telegram before Leopold sees it and shows Oscar.
Leopold is the only SS man in Britlands to follow these orders.
So Oscar made complaints about Leopold's excessive behavior Hasselbroek. Oscar gathers more evidence by getting Leopold drunk at dinner.
Oscar reported this Hasselbroek and told him Leopold have talked about going into combat.
Hasselbroek says he'll see what he can do. Oscar's birthday speech included telling the prisoners they would survive the war.
Some German personnel and SS officers were present, and some were worried about Oscar's safety.
2 days after Oscar's birthday, Leopold gets orders that he has been transferred to infantry.
No one knows this, as Leopold has discussed combat at dinner before. He packs and leaves.
Oscar was informed that a warehouse he previously worked with was abandoned. He goes to raid it. He worries of the rumors that Russians kill Germans without question.
The news reports that the war is over on May 8th. Oscar stops acting like he is running on a business and blasts Churchill's victory speech.
The prisoners make Oscar's gift. The prisoners are gathered along with some SS and German personnel.
Oscar told SS to leave. He thanks them for being human even when they had to do bad things.
This rubbed some prisoners the wrong way, but Oscar felt it was needed so they would not hurt anyone. Did you know Oscar gets freed?
Yes.
The SS leave. Prisoners have been issued weapons in order to disarm the SS.
Oscar and Emily say goodbye, dressed in prisoner stripes. 8 prisoners volunteer to travel with them to somewhere safe.
SS left, but a cruel German named Capo remained. Some prisoners hung him.
The former prisoners lay low and don't respond.
Since they feared Russians coming, those in Brinlitz hung fake signs saying there was a typhus outbreak.
A group of SS men asked for gasoline. Pfefferberg thinks it's the best to give it to them, so he does, and they leave.
Russian officer comes and gives a speech about how they are free. Then the officer asks if he can do anything for them.
Oscar's crew is reported to American authorities. They got taken to a camp with freed camp prisoners. Did you know Schindler peaked during the war when he saved Jewish lives?
Aww.
Oscar's high season ended after the war, aka he peaked when he was saving Jewish peoples during the war.
Goethe was captured by Americans and was one of the first Germans to go to Poland for judgment.
Pemper is a witness and recounts Goethe's crimes. Both was given the death penalty and hanged on September 13th, 1946. He had no remorse.
Oscar identified Leopold in American custody. Leopold would soon be hanged.
Oscar and Emily goes to South America to run a farm. It goes bankrupt and Oscar goes to Germany, leaving Emily behind.
He begins a cement business using money from a loan company and forms Brinslitz prisoners. He was bankrupt again.
Former prisoners invite Oscar to Israel. His visit makes news across the world.
Somehow Holocaust survivors are critical of him. However, he was largely celebrated.
In Germany, some treated him poorly. He was charged with assault in 1963 for punching a man who called him Jew kisser.
Televic committee featuring Stern and Pejewski pushed for Oscar to get pension, which is approved.
Oscar testifies of what he witnessed. He got a job at the university.
Emily never leaves Brazil, but is in a 1973 documentary about him. Oscar has a floor in a New York research center dedicated to him.
In October 1974, Oscar dies and is buried in a cemetery in Jerusalem with former prisoners in attendance.